Hello, this video will cover section 7.4. My apologies if you couldn't find it earlier. I hope you find it to be relatively short and quick, especially compared to other things that you have been doing recently. So 7.4, it's mostly notation that I think is going to give students the most struggle. So we're going to start grouping functions together. But when you see this addition right here, it just means take your two functions, whatever they happen to be, and add them together. Subtract means subtract. Now be careful when we do see subtract in a sample problem. Every term in that second function, those signs are going to need to change, and I'll make sure I include one like that to show you. If you see this notation, it means just take f of x and g of x and multiply them together. And similarly with divide. Sometimes we will be replacing an x value with an actual number like 2 or 3 or whatever number. They usually are relatively small. And I will show you and describe that to you as well. So here's our first example. And as you see, I included that negative right there. And so it's mostly how do I read the math? If you see f of 3, please notice that this x has been replaced with a 3. So what this notation is telling us is to plug in 3 for x. So instead of x plus 4, we're going to have 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4 is 7. And added to that, I am going to go over here to g of x, and I'm going to replace that x value with a 2. So 2 plus 1, imagine plugging in a 2 right there. 2 plus 1 is 3. And so the answer to f of 3 plus g of 2 is what I get when I just add those two together, which is 10. Let's do the next one. I always forget that I can't hit my back button when I'm recording here. It's covered up by the recording button. So let me just erase. So we have a little bit more room. All right, this translates to f of x subtract g of x. So I am going to take this f of x value here, x plus 4, and I am just going to subtract the g of x value, but I'm going to put that in parentheses so I can make sure and change the signs. So bringing this down, x plus 4, distributing that negative minus x minus 1. And so you can see when I'm gathering my like terms here, x subtract x, that just goes away. That won't always happen, it just happens to occur in this case. 4 subtract 1 is 3. If it's f plus g of x, I'll switch colors so it stands out. Remember that f of x value was x plus 4, and that g of x value was x plus 1. And so this translates to substitute a 6 in for x in f of x, substitute a 6 in for g of x, and add those two items together. So we're just going to replace this with a 6. We're going to replace that with a 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. 6 plus 1 is 7. And so the answer to this one is 17. I set one up for you to try. There's all sorts of variations on this, but I'm trying to keep it. I know there's a lot of material in this particular course, and so yes, they can get more difficult, but this is just kind of touching the surface on the notation. So there aren't ones that are more difficult than this in the homework or on any of the tests, finals, All right, so if you'd like to pause the video and you can kind of try those 3 and see how you do. All right, so here we're going to take f of x, we're going to plug in 1. We're going to plug in 1 for the g of x, and then we're going to just subtract the answers. So 3 parentheses 1 minus 2 is 3 times 1 is 3, take away 2 is 1. If I plug in 1 right here, 2 times 1 is 2, take away 7 is negative 5. I think the biggest place people might make an error is I'm subtracting. So I am taking this result, even though it's negative, and I'm still going to subtract it. Sorry to do a color change on you. I'm going to subtract it. When I subtract a negative, it's going to create a positive. So the answer to this one is 6. Second one. If I substitute in a 5 for f of x, I get 3 parentheses 5 minus 2. So 15 minus 2 is 17. If I plug in or substitute 1 in for x here, 2 times 1 is 2, minus 7 is negative 5. Oh, we just did that one. And once again, I subtracted, and so 17 minus a minus 5 would be a 22. If you see a multiplication, let me write out the functions one more time. F of x is 3x minus 2. G of x is 2x minus 7. And if you see this multiply, I did not include this in the examples because I just wanted to see if you could do it, but here it is. We're just going to FOIL it. If you multiply these two functions, we're just going to FOIL them. And so we have, let me extend this just a little bit, we have 6x squared minus 21x minus 4x plus 14. So 6x squared minus 25x plus 14. And that's it. So I hope those last ones on chapter 4 don't give you any more struggle. I apologize this wasn't up on YouTube earlier. Thanks so much. Hope you're having a great day. Bye-bye.